welcome to Talking Down the Highway, a Beach Boys podcast presented by Strange Currencies Music. I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Tim.
Well, hello.
Hello. I have a weird voice this time.
Oh,
Yes. I do have a correction.
Ooh, corrections from the last episode?
We're supposed to have just some friendly banter.
No banter.
No banter
Well,
for
how
you.
about that weather here in mid-May, which it's not really mid-May when we're recording this, but that's when
right.
it's going to drop.
I'm sure it's great.
Mid-May. Like, that's almost summertime. You know what I like to do in the summer? Is listen to a whole lot of fucking Beach Boys. You know what I'm not going to do this summer? Listen to a whole lot of fucking Beach Boys.
Why not?
Because this year-long journey that we've been on.
You can go back and listen to the best stuff.
I might have to, just given where things are going. You know, I mentioned last week that it's all like heavy downhill. And I kind of mentioned that without considering the fact that what we're listening to and talking about this week. But released stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
good God. This is gonna be a rough fucking summer.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you literally have never listened to
Never.
to some of the stuff that
Exactly.
we're going to be listening to.
I've listened to the 14-minute disco version of whatever.
Oh, you think that's the low point? You think that's the nadir?
No, that's a high point.
That
I like
is,
that.
yeah. No, Remy and I for the
Here comes the
catalog
night.
crawl,
That's what it is, right?
Yeah, like we dove into the whole thing.
Can't
and
wait.
Wow, yeah.
Finally.
Summer of love. 3 words for you there.
Finally getting closer to Kokomo.
It's a love thing.
Dear. I've been listening to a lot of Radiohead lately.
So have I.
Yeah, thank you.
You might be jumping the gun on that just a little.
Maybe.
I don't know that we're going to quite have that thing out by
Well, again, it's in the works. It's in the works. We're sprinkling.
Strange Currencies readers. There might be a very large piece out there on Radiohead.
I don't even know what
We
they're
maybe
talking
should just
about.
make like a Radiohead month or something.
Okay. Yeah, there's
be
some
like
cool things
5
happening
different
on Strange Currencies. You should go
You
check
say
out
that
Strange
at the
Currencies.
moment in which you say that there hasn't been a new article posted in like a month and a half. But yeah. I got a few things in the hopper.
Yeah,
Or as Glenn said a couple of episodes ago, in the hamper.
in the hamper.
Yeah.
Well,
Those are
as
my
soon as they
favorites.
get washed, then they'll be ready for the website.
Yeah, you got to clean them first.
Hang them up. Let them dry.
These articles don't go out dirty. They're clean.
Wow.
All kinds of F words
Yeah.
at first, and
Yeah.
then they get
we
taken out.
clean them up. Yep.
So I have a correction. It's
Okay,
just really
fine.
More of an omission from the last episode, right? Talking about Love You. Earl Mankey.
To Dennis.
Yeah, whatever. No. Earl Mankey, the engineer of those sessions, describes it as a frighteningly accurate album. This is just wait till the end of this quote. It's great.
Wow.
He says, it may have sounded like a lighthearted album, but it's a serious autobiographical album. Brian Wilson giving what he had. Sort of like Eraserhead.
Ooh.
Love You is Eraserhead to
Eraserhead.
Earl Mankey.
Okay. Wow.
I just thought that was just the most insane thing to say about any Beach Boys album. Certainly this one.
I was gonna say there's some coming up that that are every bit as disturbing. And then they do the whole "Lady in the Radiator" song. Oh no, that's Pixies.
Yeah. I think as far as just like formless and like kind of like meditative, maybe like Smiley Smile. I don't know.
Lady in the Radiator. Is that like the surfer jets stuck in the...
Stuck in the cargo.
cargo hold.
Hey, everybody, free the surfer jets.
From that radiator.
They're tied to the
Anyway,
radiator.
They are tied to a radiator in the hold of the
hole.
Beach Boys cruise.
We're lynching down the highway. Whoa, that sounds right.
no.
David Lynch.
Ooh, yeah.
Yikes.
No.
Wow.
This is a David Lynch podcast, is what I meant to say.
Right.
Wow. Tim.
Hot Carl.
Wow.
Hot Carl.
That's not okay. Wow.
I did not.
Open applications.
Let's move
for
on.
The third chair.
That was not my intention.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that's hard to come back from.
David Lynch.
Eraserhead.
David Lynch. Eraserhead.
I don't...
Okay, I get it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I guess we need to take a break.
Yeah, we do. You know what? There is a lot to talk about here.
I think that half
I
beer
have
that
a
Tim
theory.
had last week is still not worn off.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
This is going to be very confusing.
I have a theory
Yeah.
when we get back from this
My
break
theory
I'm
is-
gonna present.
Mike Love eats dog food.
Yep.
I mean, that's a fact.
Facts.
Prove us wrong, Mike. Prove us wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not. He
Anyway, go ahead, Glenn. Your theory?
No, when we get back from the break, I'm ready.
okay.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to talk.
Fine.
My
We're
theory
going to talk about what
is
we're going to talk about. I'm ready.
we're going to take a break.
I've got theories about what we're going to talk about today.
We'll be back in a while. We're going to take a long break this time. Yeah. Bye. And we're back. What'd you do during your break, Glenn?
I took a little nap.
Nice.
Going to recharge, rejuvenate. I will say, I think this might be our longest segment that we're about to embark on this episode. Well, just because I think there's a lot of context here. There's a lot that we need to unpack and discuss.
Oh, I thought you were talking like there was a set piece or something.
No, I'm just saying
because
there might
we
be.
can't really have a sound and vision this time because this
Well,
album doesn't get released.
I mean, there's some like
that's
bootleg.
the
I'm not
point.
going to sound and vision a bootleg.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
I think the context for this is pretty straightforward.
Are
Go
we
on.
even talking about an album? This is an album that never was.
Yeah.
And so, like,
we should
it was
probably
sequenced. There was
say
an
what we're talking about.
intended-
Okay.
Yeah.
so coming off of Love You, 1977, which was arguably a
Great.
Brian Wilson solo album, which is great. That's not arguable. The arguable fact is it a Brian Wilson solo album or is it a Beach Boys album? But Love You was contextually Brian penned these tracks as if it were a diary. This is the brothers Carl Dennis saying, "Here, Brian, we'll do this album, heal your soul, whatever. Your name's on it. Sorry for causing you, trouble, whatever." And so he writes this, but presumably under the thumb.
You're talking about Love You still?
Yeah,
Okay,
of
okay.
Landy.
Yeah.
Right? And so Landy is kind of pressuring him, whipping him into shape, holding a baseball bat. And they fire Landy because he's charging ridiculous amounts, whatever. And it's kind of suspicious. And so they fire him. Love You comes out. Now, presumably, Brian is in recovery mode and he is able to put now his next album out because they're still, what are they they're under contract still, right?
Yeah. This would have
They still owe,
closed out their obligations, I think.
they owe
so.
one more
Warner
album,
Brothers. Mhm.
right? And so he works on this album, and we've been talking about this for a while now, that he's got this idea of an album like about food, and maybe there's an album about exercise, and he's got all these different things, but there's this album, and I think they even promote it, right? At some point, don't they even
I think so. I mean,
drop that?
it got like a track sequence and everything, I think. It was like close to coming out, I think.
But it never came out.
Right.
And so we're reviewing the album Adult Child.
Yeah.
From 1977, which was never released.
Yeah.
Much like the Smile Sessions, which ultimately was. Spoiler alert, by the time this episode comes out, Brian Wilson announces that he is ready to release Adult Child.
Are you just trying to will that into existence? That'd be cool.
I'm manifesting.
Yeah. Similar to how I'm trying to like manifest a 10th Radiohead album into existence by doing this thing that we're doing there.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I mean, this is different from The Smile because one, it doesn't have that legend to it, and two, it just never fucking comes out. Like we've been piecing together, listening to this thing via various,
It's very
YouTube
confusing.
clips and stuff. I have from years ago, and I didn't even listen to it this week, like an MP3 version. I think it's the 2000, bootleg or whatever MP3 version that came out. That
Is that with 20?
still I think only has like a dozen of the songs.
Oh,
but
okay.
there's basically 20 or 21 or something in
20.
there. 20 different songs that were recorded for this. So it's
Well, maybe 19 if the waltz. Well, we can get into that, but it's so confusing. If you go to Wikipedia and look up the article on this, there is a track order, which I assume was like what the intended track order was supposed to be, and it's 2 sides, 6 songs each, so 12.
But there's enough ancillary stuff
There's a
that
ton, yeah.
that you can speculate
The
and
version I listened to was
get wild if you want.
10 songs per side, so
Right,
20.
right.
I want to say about Landy, though. I'm not really clear on the timeline here because he had already been fired, I think. But Brian got the title essentially from Landy.
Right.
Because it's not that he's an adult child, it's that everyone has an adult and a child within them.
Right. And there's this thing of like what maybe you feel like you should do, and then there's this other part of you that wants to like push the limits and test the boundaries. And so there's a little bit of Landy lingering here, but presumably here is an album now of Brian. I want an authentic diary album that doesn't have a baseball bat hanging over his head.
However he thinks of it, or diary or whatever, just like he's just really writing these songs like not under duress. I don't
Correct.
believe.
So
like,
that's the idea.
This is just
not
like
under
his
duress.
like a pure and without a co-writer like a lyricist, just pure Brian.
This is what we want. This is what get Al and Mike. I mean, no offense to Al, but get Mike.
I got problems with Al right now.
Get them out of the way so that they don't have. So Brian doesn't have these voices like yelling at him or criticizing or judging him.
Fucked up thing is that they weren't there. The vocals that ended up on any of these songs are from previous sessions with those two, with Mike and Al. Everything else was the three brothers.
I mean, this is a recipe for goodness right here. Get rid of Al, get rid of Mike,
the Wilson
let
boys.
the Wilson boys come together, the real Beach Boys, and Brian, with Brian at the helm,
None of those
he's the
fake
producer.
ass motherfuckers.
and none of the judgmental, like no Landy, no Murray. No
fucking Bruce Johnston and his giant head.
No John Stamos. No Charles Manson.
Right, and in the end, the only reason this doesn't come out is because essentially Mike.
He's still here.
So Brian got the.
Wait a minute! It sounds like it's time for an episode of Heroes and Villains.
Yeah.
That's right. It's time for Heroes and Villains. We're discussing heroes and the villains, whatever it is that we happen to be talking about this weekend. This week we're talking about adult child. All right, heroes.
Brian.
It's always Brian.
Dennis.
Brian, Carl,
Good Carl.
Dennis,
Good Carl.
the brothers.
Dennis is kind of a piece of shit.
Hey,
No, I mean, he
He's
kind of is.
He's up, but still. Yeah, Brian. This is
Brian.
Brian. This is Brian, and I'm so happy for him here.
Yeah, this is like a cool little era, that could have been. This is this is the Beach Boys that could have been, or this could have been the beginning of the Brian solo era. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Should have been. I've been on. I think I've been on record as saying that this is the point where I feel like we should have just turned them all loose and let them go do their own thing.
and they kind of do. I mean, Dennis is recording Pacific Ocean Blue at the same time.
Carl's
I don't know
off
when
producing.
Carl's he's producing. I don't know when his solo albums come out.
He's producing.
Okay.
He's producing Ricky Martin at this time, not to be confused with the.
He's living the La Vida Loca.
No. The Ricky Martin that is the son of Dean Martin.
Okay.
Beached is the album that Carl Wilson is working on.
If I were 800 years old, that Dean Martin reference would impress me.
Wow. Okay. Whatever.
But the only reason this doesn't come out is because of the villain,
Eternal
Mike,
villain.
and probably Al a little bit too.
And there's a little residual Landy here.
Yeah.
But wait.
Literally, this whole thing was like done, and maybe not completely done, but like Mike is just like, what the fuck are you doing? Because he's listening to the orchestral
This
tracks.
is weird.
It's like, this is too weird. Basically, him and Al say, we are going to decide from now on what is like marketable.
We're the ones that are out on the front lines in front of the audience.
We got our fingers on the pulse of American society. They want the MIU album.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they just kill this whole...
We're bringing Bruce
thing.
Johnston back into the fold. Yeah, fuck those guys. Yeah, Al, come on,
What
man.
were you doing, Al?
You know what, Al? Don't call us.
Yeah, don't. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. We are rescinding every previous You can call me Al.
I hope that fucking lobster.
Do not
gets
call
you.
us, and I am now officially calling upon that lobster to go after you again. Lobster, go after Al Jardine with everything you've got. Al, you better keep one eye open. You better sleep with one eye open, Al, because that lobster is coming back.
Watch, Al's gonna call.
He's coming back.
We expect a
Yeah.
full apology, Al.
gonna
A
get a
full
C&D.
account of what were you thinking.
No, we don't want. I don't. No, cease and desist, Al.
Wow.
Nope.
Okay.
That's what he's gonna do to us.
The lobster is on his way.
Wow.
There.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Solid episode of Heroes
Dead
and
to me.
Villains.
Dead to me, Al.
Wow.
Al is
Good.
now officially a villain.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Along with Mike, Al is probably shoving dog food into his mouth too. That's where
Maybe
Alpo.
he's the
Alpo.
Alpo.
Oh
Yeah.
Hey.
shit! That's
Yep.
a good nickname. I was gonna say
Yeah.
maybe he's doing the cat food, but no.
Nope.
Alpo.
Alpo.
That's too perfect.
Do him dirty.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Good episode.
Good episode.
Great
The best one yet, I
Yeah.
think.
Yep. All right. Do we need any more context? Or are
Well,
we going to dive into these 20-ish songs?
That's all I had for context.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that this is what I want.
oh, there was one other thing. Go ahead.
I want this album to come, please.
Yeah,
Can it be
yeah.
unearthed?
I would love that.
Yeah.
Because okay, so one thing we didn't talk about is how did you all consume Adult Child? Because it's not on.
Right. No,
it's
you're right.
not
This is
on
good-
streaming.
this is context
like,
too, yeah.
I didn't. I wasn't able to listen to it in my normal listening confines.
Yeah.
Because I have my beautiful vintage stereo receiver sound system. No, I don't. But
say,
you
oh, wow,
can't
I
pipe
don't.
YouTube in through.
Can't.
And like
I
I
listened
tried.
to it driving, like a couple of YouTube playlists over
Okay.
the course of the week.
You listen. How do you listen to YouTube while driving? Like,
Bluetooth, like
Just
just,
Bluetooth
audio, right?
it.
You just got to leave the.
see my phone
the
whenever
screen
I
on.
turn it on. Yeah, then my screen gets like overheated, and I can't.
Oh, it does.
I don't.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like
YouTube's weird.
listening to YouTube music on YouTube. It's
Right,
no
right.
fun.
I mean, because you have to leave your screen on unless you have like YouTube Red or whatever. The hell.
Right, I'm not about to do that.
but
And so
yeah,
I tried
so-
piecing together a Apple Music because I'm on Apple Music. Shut up, Matt. I'm on Apple.
I'm no big Spotify defender. I just
Okay.
happen to use Spotify, but
but
fuck 'em
there's
both.
no like. There's
hey,
only.
hey, Apple Music and Spotify. We're adding you to the villains list. Pay your art.
I was only able to find 7 tracks from
Really?
Adult Child
Oh, really?
on streaming on Apple Music.
on
Oh,
stream.
on Apple Music.
Yeah, because
And
some of them
even
are on the
then-
Field Flows box set. Because this
Right,
goes, some
right.
of this goes way back, like 1970, 71 ish.
Yeah, but even the ones that are on the Field Flows box set are presumably not the way that we would have experienced them on Adult Child had they come
it's
out.
possible. Yeah.
And there were a smattering of them on the Good Vibrations box set, which is not streaming right now.
Oh, okay.
It was removed. So I
there's-
have 2 Adult Child playlists, one of which there are some like It's Over Now, Ruby Baby, Games 2 Can Play, Still I Dream of It used to be available, but they're not in.
So there's a million
A
different
couple,
versions.
a couple
this.
of those are some of the best ones.
What I found was easiest because it was the basically the first path that I found is you search, I guess Google, but like search YouTube for Brian Wilson Adult Child. You'll see one with the goofy bootleg cover and the
Which
description.
wearing the fire helmet.
Yeah, and it very clearly says side 1.
Yeah.
And if you go to that one, in the description, the guy has links to Google Drives with his version of the album. But the easiest thing is to click on SoundCloud. He's got a SoundCloud. And then if you, I don't know, it's hard at that point to know what the songs are. But if you go to the Google Drive, you can get a sense of the track listing.
This is the anonymous guy.
Yeah, Anonymous. But
Anonymous, yeah.
But yeah, you can just pull this way. You can just it's all like one track, but you can pull up SoundCloud, listen to the whole thing. But the thing is, if you read that description, he has messed with it a little bit. It's like.
He does some crossfades.
Well, he does the whole thing to be like a continuous thing, so there's no gaps between the songs. It sounds like one goes into the other. It actually works really, really well.
Yeah, there's some moments that are like
Couple moments,
Yeah.
like Calendar Girl
Right.
doesn't work at all. But he actually says he did some tempo changes and pitch shifts,
Right.
And like I don't know if he also maybe clipped the ends of some songs to make them flow together. So I feel like I'm not listening to the real thing exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like as a work of its own, it's really pretty cool, pretty impressive. The whole thing is like 50 minutes long, so it's kind of long. But
Wait, so are
think
you
it's
talking
worth
about? Are you talking about the other lost masterpiece by Anonymous? Anonymous.
Anonymous, yeah.
Because the other one that's out there is a totally different track order, but it's It's the Randomonium mix.
Randomonium. Okay.
There's also one, and I haven't listened to it yet, but the Sonic Love Noise, which is, I think the people who do the blog,
bootleg.
I think they're the people who do the albums that never were blog.
Okay.
And so I got from them, like that's how I knew about Landlocked, and I've listened to their reconstruction of Landlocked, which is really pretty good. But I haven't listened to their Adult Child.
So what's the 1985? What's the 1985?
So there's this
bootleg
85 bootleg, and I don't even know like what the label was. It has a catalog number there. BW 1977. That sounds made up. But Anyway,
that track listing
that was
has
17. Yeah, 17 songs. And that came out on vinyl, I believe. On vinyl? Yeah, in 85. And then there was a 2000s era one, which I think that's what I have, at least on MP3. And that one, I think, recreated what was expected to be the 12-song playlist, starting with Life is for the Living and ending with Still I Dream of It. And again, there's nothing that's canon about this album.
But that 85 bootleg is on Discogs as far as just for...
Yeah, and you can actually, I believe you can listen to it on the Internet Archive. If you look it up, you can find... say that...
really? Okay.
Yeah, they say that the original bootleg had liner notes from Eugene Landy on it.
Jeez.
Weird.
Scary.
Yeah.
Well, he was back in the picture certainly by 85.
Interesting. This is different. So, this is similar in as far as the order as to what Wikipedia says for the official track order, with extra songs. And then some of these songs aren't on the version that I listened to. So, like Moni Moni wasn't on there. And I don't think Ruby Baby was either.
Are we gonna come to an agreement on how we're even gonna tackle side A and side B? Like, do we have a
it'll be a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, one person's gonna have to just do, like, maybe Matt, you just read off the tracks that you know of in whatever order. I have notes for every song, so then we can just chime in on the individual songs.
Aren't you, Mr. Prepared? Okay.
Well, yeah. It'll be a little bit of a messy one. We're gonna because there is not an agreed upon canon track listing or anything like that. But yeah,
or maybe we should go, since this is an easy list that everyone listening can access. Maybe we do the 85 bootleg track listing that way, because it's just
and
on
pick up
Discogs.
the stray tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, so today we're talking about the 1985 archival bootleg release of the 1977 album that should have been Adult Child. That's what we're talking about today.
All right. Well, hey, I think the big takeaway so far is you guys need to re-release this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not going to happen because of the whole Mike Love. Like, that's why we still don't have it. Right? Mike doesn't want it out there. He doesn't want the Beach Boys name attached to it.
Well, then let's make it a solo album then. Yeah. Brian Wilson Presents.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or let's release it as The Beach.
Oh.
That's how Brian wanted it at
one
point.
Yeah. Let's take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about the songs that are on the A side of the bootleg.
All right, we're back talking about the 1977 album that never was via the 1985 bootleg archival release.
Life
is for the living. Like, seriously, what I wouldn't give.
Get off your ass.
We should make a new segment.
Don't sit around smoking grass.
Smoking grass.
Yeah.
Don't sit on your ass smoking grass.
Yeah.
That went on a long time ago.
It should. I mean, Brian is out actively working. He's actively playing music right now. Darian Sahanaja is part of his crew, right? His Inner Sanctum.
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't know if Brian.
Because Darian's the guy that kind of helped
for a long time. Yeah, for Smile.
Brian back into Smile.
Yes.
Why? That's Darian's next task. Darian, get us Adult Child. I want to listen to it on vinyl.
Glenn, would you hold on a minute? I was actually wanting to talk to you guys about this off tape. I don't know. I might have to go back and Have you guys seen pictures of Brian lately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's doing great.
Brian, we love you.
We love you, Brian.
Just know that we love you.
Yes. Yeah, he's not looking great.
And thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's had a rough really he's had a rough few months.
Yes.
And it's showing, yeah.
And I'm that's
Thanks for
why
bringing it up, Glenn.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
Matt's the one who brought it up.
Well,
I
no,
was talking
you're
about
out
how,
there demanding like a live revival of adult.
I don't think that's what Glenn meant.
That's not what I meant. I'm saying it would be lovely if we could allow Brian's. I think this is the potential. Like all of the pieces that are in place here for this to be a Brian Wilson masterpiece, and we have unfettered. Here's Brian supported, and we get Life is for the Living.
It's great.
It is great. Brian for this brought in the Four Freshmen guy, the arranger for Four Freshmen. It's the same guy that helped out with the Christmas album to do the orchestral stuff. And
Yeah.
like 4 tracks or something. And that's like apparently that's the thing that set Mike Love off. Like, what the fuck? Are you doing
He's
here?
like, why are you doing these like swing
Right.
jazz renditions? Well, but like again, this is an artist's journey. This is like if Love You had all of those orchestral elements that again, Brian's a friggin' composer here.
Right.
He's a genius musical composer that's his palette that he works with. On Love You, he uses Moog synthesizers to kind of do that those orchestral pieces elements. Here, unfettered access, he gets his actual orchestration here.
And I get it, like, you hear this song and you're like, what the hell is this? It's like a Sinatra type song. I mean, a lot of these were like meant for Sinatra or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's very out of character and very unusual, and it almost sounds
says
unhinged
who?
crazy.
Out of character says who?
Well, no, I'm
Mike
saying
Love.
There's nothing wrong.
I'm
with
not.
that,
I'm
though.
well. I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that. I have nothing bad to say about this.
Yeah. It's not in his typical wheelhouse, but it's still fucking cool.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I think maybe the first time you listen to some of these songs, you're like, oh, this is weird. It's Brian being crazy. But like, no, it's just unfettered, like pure. I don't know. Pure Brian. Pure. He's just making music.
Yes, he's doing what he loves.
Yeah.
He's not out on the road at county fairs like Mike Love and Al Jardine having to listen to the trash that these peasants are screaming, give us more at a fun. He's just in there making music.
He's not shoveling shit into the pigs' mouths.
He's like out doing his thing. He's an artist. He's making music. Let him make the music.
Whatever.
Like,
He's finally out of bed. He's just like being creative.
Yeah.
It's great. So Life is for the Living. Yeah. It's that kind of song.
It's great.
It's good.
Love it. And I'm sure they're going to keep up the momentum, and things are just going to continue to be smooth sailing. Oh, holy fuck!
Ooh.
Yikes! Oh my God!
There's no
so here it is. Hold on.
wavering on this one.
The
Yeah.
worst thing so far in the Beach Boys catalog.
Yes.
And it has to be repre-fucking-hensible.
Yeah.
This song is beyond bad.
And it's not like with some of the, on the last album, like, oh, maybe he
Pat her
meant
on the
this, maybe he
butt.
meant
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
No,
nope,
it's
nope.
totally fucked up.
Absolutely
It's called
horrible.
Hey Little Tomboy. And it's about, okay, here's a little tomboy, meaning a girl who, plays baseball or whatever. Yeah. And now it's time for her to be a woman. Mm-hmm. So let's, I don't even know. It's fucked up.
Shave your legs.
Beyond.
Put on a dress.
And the thing is, this appears on MIU.
Oh,
but
and Mike is going to teach her how to kiss. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And here's the thing. Yeah, they almost dodged a bullet, right? By like having this album not come out. And then they're like, oh, the one song we're going to resurrect from this thing is fucking Hey Little Tomboy.
I don't know if this is the case for all releases, but on Spotify, the version that's on MIU has the really bad like banter taken out. There's like a bridge section, not a bridge section, like a breakdown where they're still singing. It's kind of like a call and response thing, but in between, it's like the guys, saying that really creepy shit, like, oh, let's shave her legs for the first time. Yeah. Let's see what she looks like with makeup on, and like really, really, really bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Like,
Awful.
What the fuck, man?
All right, here's another take.
No, there is no other take.
What if this is the villainy of this song? And what if the message is you should be able to be who you are?
No.
You should not have to listen to what the constructs of society are saying. Mike Love, we know, is a dick, and if he's telling you that you need to kiss, like, punch him in the face. Be you.
Sure.
If you're a boy and you want to be a girl, be a girl.
Yeah, but
if
I don't
you're
think Brian is thinking that deeply.
He's not.
Yeah,
he's not. He's not.
Reprehensible.
Right,
Yeah,
and
the song
reprehensible.
is
But what I'm
terrible.
saying is if there's a time that we as a society have gotten to the place where we can identify trash when we see it and reclaim it for what it needs to be, could this be a song for a little boy out there who wants to dress as a woman and he wants to be who he wants to be? Hey, little tomboy,
Sure.
life is for the living.
Maybe there's a little boy
Be
named
you.
Tom.
Well, first off, she wants to be.
Yeah, that's true.
But no. This song is.
Yeah.
It's
let's
beyond
move on.
awful.
Yeah, it's awful.
like
It is.
It should not exist.
It shouldn't.
Terrible.
So bad. All right. Okay. Next one is Deep Purple.
Deep Purple.
It's another kind of croonery song. I don't exactly know how it sounds. It's a
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's not one of the most memorable ones on there,
No.
but it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So track 4, HELP is on the way. I think it's really good. I have my note is that it's a banger. It starts off with him describing like looking in the mirror. It's like fat guy looks in the mirror and like sees how tubby he is, and then I don't know. There's stuff about health food and things. There's like a little pre-chorus or chorus that comes in that I think is really catchy. Yeah. See, I like it. I think it's
I like it too.
pretty solid.
So on one of the versions that I listened to, because I heard, it was alternating back and forth between a couple of different YouTube playlists on it, and there's one where at the end Brian's like, "Go to the Radiant Radish" or something, like he's dropping his own.
There's a reference to that.
Yeah.
And HELP, I guess, is a restaurant.
Yeah.
Or was a restaurant at the time, too, that he's referencing.
Yeah. It's bangerish. I like it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's over now. It's over now.
Is that the one?
Again,
really-
I mean, I think this is it's over now. It's track 5.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is this one of the two that like people seem to generally agree is like actually really good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The rate your music rating on this one is 4.3.
Right. And Marilyn has a part on this, and I think she does really well on this one. In my notes it says. Yeah, that's a good one. Like the thing about this is like some people will say like, oh yeah, some of these songs are a little out there, but then he really nails it on a couple others. He kind of is doing the "Till I Die" sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's a real vulnerability to it.
Right, and this is one of those. Everybody Wants to Live. That's the next one.
There's a part of this song that I absolutely love, and I'm having to look up exactly
When the cigarette,
Yeah.
cigarette butt, when you throw it in the water, goes. Psst.
Yeah, that's so great.
And it kind of fits in. There's like a little maraca or something thing in the background that matches it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the melody was. I was going to try to sing it really stupidly but yeah, it's so great. It goes psst, like that's the lyric.
Yeah, it's true. That's what happens when you throw a cigarette butt in the water.
It is, yeah. Another banger.
Well, yeah, my note is it's pretty good, but not like super good. I don't know. I remember liking it.
It's charming.
Like the thing is, we talked about this a little bit off mic. It's like it's hard to remember what all these songs sound like. That's why I took notes.
There's a lot of them, and
so
again,
many,
with there not being like a canon version to listen to,
yeah.
it's always
It's like I need to go
pieced
back.
together.
I need to go back and listen to them more, I guess.
Yeah.
What is the bootleg vinyl go for these days?
So I want to say that like you can't even buy and sell it on Discogs anymore now.
Yeah, it says last sold never.
Oh, so I'm seeing last sold in 2022, but I know in the last couple years it seems like they've really like clamped down on selling things that are unofficial releases on there.
Yeah, it says this release is blocked from sale on Discogs. It is not permitted to sell this item in our marketplace.
See, because I feel like that's what I really need to really appreciate these songs. Is I need to be able to listen to it.
Right.
And it's
And that's why that SoundCloud one is it works for that, but it's like it's his own kind of creation as far as the track order and
right. And
the
there's some
mixing.
artistic decisions that are made that are, and see, that's the other question. I wonder what the vision would be because. And again, even if Brian was up to like having Darian help him piece together his vision now is probably not like what it was in 1977 when he was in that mindset of I want to put together a Frank Sinatra type album. And who knows what could have happened musically to the scene it had this, released or whatever. I don't know.
I don't think this would have had that kind of like. I think you can definitely say that about Smile a decade
bubble.
before, but
Yeah.
this is 77 basically. Like, I doubt the punks would have been impacted too much by Adult
Right.
Child.
Right.
Wait, When did Death of a Ladies Man come out?
Around there, 77, 78.
Because the punks did like that one. Yeah. That's a.
They might have liked it, but they weren't really
Cohen.
bothered with it. But,
Sure.
Yeah.
So then Everybody Wants to Live,
We just talked about it.
and then
The cigarette butt. It goes. Psst.
right, and then Moni Moni.
Yeah, so the
that-
next 3 are covers that were not on the version I listened to, so I don't really have anything to say about them. But yeah, Moni
Moni
Moni.
Moni, Ruby Baby.
So
Be
I
My
definitely
Baby.
heard Money Money, and the one that I heard, it's fine.
Is
Ruby
as good
Baby's-
as the Billy Idol version.
Oh, nothing is. Yeah. No, it's fine. It's just got this really kind of like minimalistic and insistent, just holding on that. I think it's an E note, just like over and over. So there was kind of a cool, kind of, again, insistency about it. I don't remember much about Ruby Baby, their version of it. Be My Baby's interesting because it's really, really like minimalistic. It's like Brian had like a Casio circa 1984, where it's just like this program drum beat, and you're like it's not literally what it is, but it's like a program beat, and just like these really cheapy sounding, synthesized string arrangement kind of thing.
Isn't that the one with Mike? Doesn't Mike
And
Love sing the
Mike
lead
does
on
all
it?
the lead on it, and it's weird because like this is Brian's favorite
Obsession,
song of all time. Like that's the one thing he never wavers on. Like he loves, every this is the best album I ever did. No, this is the best album. But like he unwaveringly loves the song, and he just it's like this tossed off kind of half-ass version. But it's kind of sort of endearing. I mean, it's Mike, so like
nasally.
yeah, he's hardly Ronnie Bennett, but but it does have some charm to it. It's
I'll have to track these down. These 3 and then the first on the next side. I haven't heard either.
Okay.
Getting right between.
Yeah, well, let's break it there because that's where it goes from
Take a break.
A9 to B1 on the bootleg. So we'll come back. All right.
That's me. Hi, everybody. We're talking down the highway. We're talking about Adult Child, side 2 of the 1985 bootleg vinyl. Track 1 is You Lost That
If
Love
any
and
of you
Feeling.
all have that bootleg,
Send it to us.
Yes,
happy
please.
to take it off your hands.
Yes, please.
I feel like I've seen it once
before.
before, but it's one of those, you're paying at least $100 for it if you see it kind of thing.
You lost that love and feeling.
So another Spectre kind of homage.
Yeah,
tribute here to
and this
Leaders
one
Went On.
definitely is
has some
Brian
production.
more in that, specular emulating kind of vibe. Then again, the relatively tossed off Be My Baby. I kind of jumped the gun talking about it before the break.
That's fine. So
It's not.
You
It's
got
not.
You lost that love and feeling.
Perfection here.
It's a song that I haven't heard. It's fine. Track 2 is Shortening Bread.
Shortening Bread.
I actually like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and honestly, like the rate your music rating on it is 3.9, which is
I
kind
dig
of
it.
know.
It's ding dang.
They're having a lot of
It's-
fun.
It's obsession.
It's similar to Ding
It's,
Dang.
it's
Now, is this one just the 3 brothers?
I think so.
Because I always want to
production, I
believe
don't
that
know.
those low voices are Dennis. Like I always wanted to think that
this
that's
could
him.
be the whole group because like, he had been knocking this one around for a long time too.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, he was obsessed.
This
with
is
this
probably-
one for
probably
he
all
might
the
even
guys.
still be.
yeah.
See, I that's one of the things that I really like about Adult Child is that it does feel. I mean, aside from that, Be My Baby, unmistakable nasal Mike Love, it really does feel like this is Brian and Dennis and Carl.
I mean, you definitely hear Mike a lot throughout it. Like he's definitely on Hey Little Tomboy. Like they give him the creepiest line of all of them. But,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but
It's fun.
I like it. I like the orchestration. I like the.
Inexplicably, it's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right.
it fits in with that whole child element,
Totally.
right?
Well,
Just
and
a
so
nursery
and here's
rhyme
the other
kinda-
thing. Like, there's a part of it that this is part like adult child and like wrestling with those two parts of your whatever ego, whatever. But this is also kind of it's kind of a food album. Like, so there's
There's a lot of that in HELP is on the way, right? Like the
Yeah.
health food stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's something about that's kind of intriguing as well. And there's something about, I don't know. It feels like there's something just barely under the surface here that is just beyond reach and that we can't quite fathom, but there feels like there's truth here.
Well, it's kind of like how Sloop John B is like a traditional or whatever, but it fits perfectly on Pet Sounds and like within the themes and everything of it. It's like this is obviously an existing song, but like it kind of encapsulates, I don't know, something inside Brian. Yeah. Can see that. Yeah. All right, next is Lines, which don't exactly remember how it goes, but my note is pretty good.
It's talking about movies and
yeah,
all that.
stand in line. Yeah, I like it. It's good. On Broadway is next. Classic, I guess.
I
like this
This
version.
is my favorite of the covers.
Okay.
I really like how Brian transforms this song in a way that I think is very different from any other version that we've heard, or maybe that we're familiar with. The on Broadway kind of the swarmy.
Is there saxophone in this version? Because the one I know best has that saxophone line.
I don't know, but when I sat down and scrummed through the YouTube music, the on Broadway, it felt like Brian was doing something new with this.
Okay.
Like he was talking about something about that desire to make it even though you're down, and even though that what would this be like? I'm gonna push through. I want to make something of myself, even though the kind of everyone's against me or society's against me. I want to just make it about the art. I want to make it big. I want to do me. I think is
thematically makes total sense,
is intriguing.
I like this version a lot. I don't know if I can really compare it super well to other versions, but yeah, I like it. It's good. Yeah, it's fine. Games 2 can play.
Yeah.
I have no memory of it except
really?
The word catchy is what I wrote down.
Yeah, totally catchy.
Yeah, like a lot of these songs I remember just like, these are good songs. These are catchy songs. Like
this one totally has like a Post Smile trilogy kind of low key vibe, like Friends-ish.
okay. Yeah, you could definitely take, like, you wouldn't even need any of the covers, even though some of them do fit in really well. But like, you could take all the original songs and put them together in a certain order, and it would be like a very listenable album. I think people would just like it. I don't know. What's next?
It's good.
It's trying to say that's baseball's on.
Yeah,
Okay. Baseball one.
Yeah, that's fun.
the baseball
It's
one.
Dennis, I think, singing, right?
Yeah, Dennis is doing the lead on that one.
It's about baseball.
Love it. I love it. I love baseball.
Catchy and good.
And again, I think there's something about baseball that is America. There's something about the that hope springs eternal, that baseball's on, that kind of coincides with this coming of age of the American experience. That's something that is on par, this idea of adult child, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and that's a good one. Like, baseball is one of those games that like kids play and then adults watch.
And you can obsess.
It's not really a game that two can play, though. You need more than two people to play baseball.
That's true.
Yeah. So
It's
come on,
trying
Brian.
to say that. Yeah.
It's trying. Yeah.
You could play t-ball with two people.
Brian
maybe.
was quite the baseball player
Really?
in his youth. Yeah.
He was the athlete. He was quarterback too.
I knew he was football. I didn't realize he played baseball.
No, he's a
too.
baseball player too. Although he said, I think it's in the Smile documentary, the Beautiful Dreamer one, where he's something like, I don't think he's saying that he could have gone pro or something, but he's like, yeah, but I couldn't hit a curveball.
Okay.
It's not gonna really. Yeah. Anyway, not gonna make it if you can't hit a curveball.
No.
Sorry, Brian. But hey, I think he found his calling.
That'd be great if just all fast, right down the middle.
Yeah.
Every single one. Still I Dream of It is the next one, which was, I think, more specifically like written for Frank Sinatra, or that was his idea anyway.
That and Life is for the Living, right? And maybe it's over now too.
Yeah, it's over now. Life is for the living, and Still Dream of It feel like those three.
I mean, those are definitely stylistically like Sinatra songs, but I feel like I have this one I have written for Sinatra, but I don't know what's true really.
We never do with the Beach Boys,
Right?
But I dig it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Love it.
Pretty good.
The highlight of the album.
Okay,
It's a beautiful, beautiful ballad, and Brian's it is Brian, right? That's one of the things. Again, we don't have like all of that detail on this album in the same way that we do with the other ones generally. There are times when it's like this could be Brian or Dennis, and then there's times where it's like this could be Brian or Carl. Like Brian's voice, and again, some of these recordings are a little bit older too, so that also adds to some of the confusion. But this to me is a definite Brian vocal, the way I'm hearing it in my head right now.
Wait, what's it called?
Still I Dream of It.
Still I Dream of It. Yeah, B. Wilson. So Wikipedia does have, like I said, the quote unquote track listing and with the lead vocal credits.
I need to get access to this Wikipedia that you're always talking about.
So like Life is for the Living has Carl and Brian, Mike, Brian, Carl for Hey Little Tomboy, Brian for Deep Purple, Mike for Help Is on the Way, Carl, Brian, and Marilyn for It's Over Now. Carl and Brian for Everybody Wants to Live. So like, yeah, it's mostly Brian, but there's like contributions from on Broadway is an Al solo.
Al,
which it's a pretty strong vocal.
Al sucks.
And then it's trying to say Baseball's on Dennis, Still Dreaming. Yeah, and Brian is the only one credited for Still I Dream of It.
Yeah. Okay. I figured that to me is like a real quintessential Brian vocal performance of this era.
So this has the last track is Calendar Girl, which I don't really kind of feel neutral about this version. It's just kind of like pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to pull it up in my head, and the reason why I remember the melody is it reminds me of the song Handyman. It's like an Otis Blackwell song.
Okay. Karma Chameleon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but Calendar Girl, that's a kind of pretty well-known song, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm kind of meh on this version.
That's fine.
But yeah, so that's the bootleg. So and then the official.
So that it's how many? Even the bootleg though says
like
that's 12 tracks and it asterisks.
Oh, really?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and calls 5 of them bonus tracks.
Oh, okay.
So even the bootleg says, hey, these are bonus tracks. These 5. So the original album was supposed to be only 12.
Well, here's the track listing for the original album, according to Wikipedia or whatever. Life is for the Living, Hey Little Tomboy, Deep Purple, Help Is on the Way, It's Over Now, Everybody Wants to Live, side 1.
Right.
Side 2, Short and Bread, Lines, On Broadway, Games 2 Can Play, Baseball's On, a.k.a. It's Trying to Say, and Still I Dream of It.
Correct. Right. Now, but some of those, we were talking about this, like some of the kind of the bootleg or things that have leaked onto YouTube have like 20 tracks on them. There's like that New England Waltz.
New English Waltz.
New English Waltz.
This version I have split it in 2, I think, because it starts both sides. New English Waltz Part 1 and then Part 2. And it's like, I guess they recorded, the Beach Boys, or Brian recorded it. I don't know if this is one of the orchestrated ones. It almost just sounds like a piece of old, like, audio, like an existing thing that maybe he would have put on there maybe to start it. I don't know. I don't really know the backstory of that one. It sounds more like an old recording than something he would have put together.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is really, really lo-fi sounding too, at least in the versions that we have available. So, especially the ones that are not on that 85 bootleg.
Right, and I've got a whole bunch here that aren't on the bootleg or on the official track list. Like we can maybe talk about if we even remember what they sound like. Like Our Team. There's a song called Our Team, which I have written catchy and good.
Yeah, it's catchy. It totally is.
Yeah. What's another one? Match Point of Our Love.
Oh, that shows up on Light album, maybe. Okay. If it's not on MI, it's on one of those two.
Right, and my note on that was it's very 70s kind of yacht rock.
Yeah. I mean, it's about tennis, right? I mean...
Well, yeah, essentially, I guess, Match Point. But I kind of like it.
Stupid.
Sweet Sunday Kind of Love, does that end up on a later album?
Hold on, I'm checking here.
I have Fine But Forgettable, but then I wrote actually pretty good.
It must be on MIU. Not Light album.
What, Match Point?
Match Point. Yes, Match Point is on MIU. So we'll be talking about that one in a couple of weeks.
And then Sweet Sunday Kind of Love?
That is also, on MIU.
Oh, okay. So these do show up. I have one called My Diane.
Yeah, that's on MIU.
Okay.
There's a little story about that one too. We'll talk about that one.
And then Winds of Change.
Also on MIU.
Okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
a lot of these are just MIU. Which interestingly enough, because this here says they recorded that between 77 and 78. So there's some kind of overlap certainly on there.
Well, yeah, and this is from the one by the guy. So it also may have been like he may have been pulling from other not eras, but
Don't they also do Give Me Some Lovin'? That cover.
I don't know. It's not in either
Spencer
of mine.
Davis group?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
That's on one of those kind of assemblies that is leaked out. So yeah, again, there's all
Very
kinds
nebulous.
of little.
Yeah.
So I want to know what's the, what actually makes the cut, and Darian, come on, come on.
It would be cool to have
the
an
work.
official version, but it's at the same time it's cool to like what I'm going to do now is take all the ones I like and make a playlist. Or
Well,
something.
yeah, I mean, hey,
So it's like
See, but I
customizable.
can't do that because
well, hold on, but that's the kind of thing that
you
might
can.
actually come out just because, like, look, Mike's going to be like, oh, well, I can put out a box set that has MIU and then also collect some of those straight tracks from Adult Child because same era.
Right.
So I'll put that thing out and charge $150 a pop. So, like, that might there's never going to be like here's the canon Adult Child release or anything because Mike will prevent that from happening.
Well, but all you got to do is go to that Anonymous YouTube post and look in the description. He has 2 Google Drive links. The second one is each individual track of this playlist, and then some of the other ones. I guess I don't know where you'd find that. Like there's some of those covers, like "Be My Baby," but you can at least take those and put them in whatever order you want. Although he already did the editing to make them all flow together, so maybe that's not the best way.
Well, maybe those other ones are just the tracks on their own. Without
No,
editing.
I listened to a couple of them, and they cut off and stuff like right as they go into the next
Come
one.
on, Anonymous.
So, but there's a way. I mean, like.
This stuff's out there.
Just what? Just hook your little boombox from the '80s up to your computer, and get some blank tapes, and hit record, and then start playing the song, and then hit stop, and then find the next song, and do it like that.
Just tape them off of the radio.
Just like
when they come on the
just
radio.
quit being so lazy.
Yeah.
Tape them off the radio.
Yeah. I mean, Hey Little Tomboy. That's always on the radio. Oh. All right. Well, I guess we have to rate this thing. I mean, which is really weird because there's not an official track listing.
Maybe we each rate our idealized theoretical version.
All right. Okay. We're not going to share what our idealized theoretical. We're just going to rate at best what it would be.
It's a Brian.
I mean, I'm gonna give it a Mike Love because it never came out.
No, you can't do that.
But
I really think if it came out as intended, I mean, Tomboy would probably be on it, so maybe it's not perfect, but it would be a Brian. I mean, like, it would be like
are you serious?
Well, yeah, because like in the most literal sense, it would be a Brian because it would have been
masterpiece.
the most unfiltered product of his creativity. Not going through a lyricist, not
but there's a lot of covers.
There's no label. Well, that's
in your version, not in the idealized version.
I might not put any of the covers in if it were me, but then again, I don't know. If I'm saying Brian is the one who puts it out, that to chop it up and put it into a different order is a filter on his creativity. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
it's
like,
really, really tough to rate.
It is.
I in my vision, if I go with the 12 songs that are the core pieces of it that are on the Wikipedia or whatever, the ones that are the bootleg minus the bonus tracks, just here's the album, not the deluxe, just here is Adult Child, and it's the 12 songs that you just listed. It's Life for the Living, Tomboy, Deep Purple, Help Is on the Way, It's Over Now, Everybody Wants to Live, Shorten and Bread Lines on Broadway, Games You Can Play. It's trying to say Still I Dream of It. It's a Dennis.
Yeah, I guess if we're going by that,
It's a Dennis.
it would be. I'd probably give it a Dennis. Yeah.
I don't know that I could quite go that high.
Yeah.
Now, again, keep in mind that I really truly believe that a Dennis is a Carl and that a Carl is a Dennis. So I'm going to call it a Dennis, which meaning that it's a Carl. And
That's
so
too
therefore,
confusing.
the answer here is that it's a Dennis.
My point being,
which of course means that it's a Carl.
my point being, if you
so
are if you are a fan of Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, you are gonna
I don't really care for them.
in your upper echelon of albums that you should have. It should be Pet Sounds. It should be Smile Sessions. It should be Today. It should be Love You. It should be Adult Child. It should be part of that conversation. Sunflower.
What about
Friends? It needs to be there.
Dias de Verano y también
Yes! Wasn't that like a Carl?
What'd you guys just say? I couldn't hear you.
I think that was a Carl. But I mean, if we're talking about like what are the best handful of albums, what did you say in your
So we
catalog,
didn't
Carl?
rank it in our
You
catalog.
didn't include it?
Well, we kept it at a nice clean 30
okay.
of things that have actually ever been released. And
So you didn't do the Smile Sessions then?
No, we did because that has been released. Yes,
okay.
it has actually come out in a album running order. If I were, I don't know. Like
So fast forward, and Darian gets the job done, and they release.
is Darian even still really
I
on
don't
Team
know.
Brian?
I
I
don't
think
know.
you're like referring back to a 20-year-old now
Maybe.
thing.
But if
Anyway.
if somebody comes along and helps Brian piece together, and Brian Wilson presents Adult Child, where does that fit? Where does that come?
Probably, I don't know if it would for me crack the top 10 still.
Ooh.
Well, no, I mean, look, we got Wild Honey, Summer Days and Summer Nights,
Yeah.
Friends, Smiley Smile, Love You, Sunflower, Surfs Up, Today, Smile Sessions, and Pet Sounds as a top 10. And I don't know that it bests any of those for me. I would maybe
than Sus Noches.
Sus Noches has like California Girls and Let 'Em Run Wild and Help Me Rhonda, like the good version of it, and Girl Don't Tell. Like Sus Noches is fucking great. So yeah, I don't know that it would crack the top 10, but I would say it'd be in around that 11 or 12 area somewhere, competing with Holland.
This is kind of why I don't like rating things against each other,
It's tough.
against other things. I mean, and like, but just doing a rating like a 1 through 10 or whatever, that's fine. But then like trying to put them
Ranking is hard.
Ranking is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah. I don't really like ranking.
It's
That said, it's
I always
it's
consider them
in-
like power rankings. They could change.
It's
any
in an
year.
armful of albums that you should pay attention to as a fan of Brian Wilson.
I
Beach
hope
Boys.
that at some point we have a version
You will
that we
find
can actually
joy
listen
in
to.
it because of the quirky nature of where it sits in the story in the canon, as it were.
Yeah.
But just because of like this is one of the Brian Wilson quote unquote. I think of it as one of those outsider albums. I think Love You and Adult Child is kind of one of those quirky, like creepy. I mean, Smile Sessions is the best of them.
Well, yeah.
But like this is one of those kind of like, this is art. Love
It's
it.
good. It's very enjoyable. But we also don't know what it is, really.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, hey, let's take one final break and come back to wrap it all up.
Yeah.
All right, back wrapping it all up and doing so quickly because we are pushing up against our hour time limit here.
Hey, good times. We got to talk about Brian
Good
Wilson.
And
his
now we're
solo
done.
albums.
We don't have to talk about the Beach Boys anymore because we've reached the end.
What?
There's
Hey,
nothing else anymore.
Hey, this is the solo era. I'm excited because I love me some Dennis. We're gonna get to listen to some Dennis. Back off.
No, he's
We're gonna listen to some Dennis.
Dennis is
this
bad.
Next week, we
week.
kick off our new Joan Baez podcast.
Silver Dagger.
It's just like the most random
Okay.
thing I could think of.
I'm excited. I'm excited about next week.
That vibrato, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna bring in it technically not a Beach Boys album, but you know.
That's fine. But
It's
we're
part of our
running over, Glenn, so
category.
just say your goodbyes.
Hey, goodbye. I had
All
a
right.
blast.
Hey, we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye. Fine. Screw you. I'm going home.